on vaccines, immunization, and perhaps procurement mechanisms overview. And more importantly, what I thought I should share today is the mindset of vaccine manufacturers towards saving that child which otherwise would die of a vaccine preventable disease. This is what I thought I should share. Definitely this presentation, after presentation with so much of numericals, will be just a superfluous presentation now. Gentlemen, all of you will agree that infectious disease still is a major cause for death, mortality or disability or morbidity. And vaccines and immunizations have played a major role ever since EPI was created sometime in the early 70s and still continue to play a major role. Infectious disease have not spared even the developed nations. Smallpox threatened 60% of the population sometime in the late 60s and 70s. 1 out of 4 was threatened with this disease. Thanks to immunization, this was eliminated in 1980. Between 2000 and 2011, measles death dropped by 70+%, again thanks to immunization. As we are talking today, there are health workers, doctors, some of our friends in countries like Pakistan, Afghanistan, or Nigeria, Madagascar, name some of these countries, are working towards eradication of polio. I think we are running against time. The end game to be reached by 2021-22. I think, again, thanks to vaccine, we may soon see a polio eradicated world. Oft repeated statement, but it's worth repeating again. Disease prevention is the most cost-effective healthcare intervention that is available to us. WHO estimates 2 to 3 million lives are saved by immunization every year. Gentlemen, vaccine truly saves lives. Vaccine saves money. I was just reading somewhere on the article, a $2 spent, this was a cost benefit analysis done in the US, a $2 spent on vaccine could save about $20 on healthcare cost. And this is the value of vaccination or immunization. And yet another study conducted in Kenya, if I'm right, showed this was actually a weekly supplemental immunization against measles, showed that it could result in a saving of about $12 million over a period of 10 years, and it could prevent 120,000 lives against this disease, and almost 4 million children could be prevented from this debilitating disease being afflicted. And this is the value of immunization and vaccine I'd like to share. Thanks to availability of vaccines today, that we have an armamentarium in our hand which could save the future, our children. But unfortunately, the fact that we have vaccine does not mean that this vaccine reaches every child, gentlemen. This is a fact of life. Immunization prevents 3 million deaths per year. We've been repeatedly seeing this fact figures. Yet 1 out of every 5 children gets missed out of getting vaccine. And I guess our endeavor is towards reaching this child as well. And the reason could be that inadequate immunization supply chain, or possibly complex vaccine manufacture, as the earlier speaker was mentioning, and batch release. When I talk of this, for those pharma people will understand that in pharmaceutical, the product is produced. In case of vaccine, once a vaccine is produced, it is subjected to a batch release by the NRA. And the batch release takes anywhere from 15 days to 40 days, depending on the vaccine, depending on the testings that is done by the NRA. And this is an unpredictable time. Once the batch release is done, the vaccine reaches the recipient country. If the NRA is functional, a lot release is done again there, which would take several days to weeks. Again, this is unpredictable. Now we can clearly predict the orders, but then it may not reach at the predicted time to the child in this country. And that is where the vaccine misses the child. And this is a problem that we face. There are several mechanisms available for procurement of vaccines. Yes, self-procurement, many of the pharma manufacturers will understand this is a direct procurement. But most of the vaccine manufacturers sought to the other two international procurement agencies, the PAHO Revolving Fund or UNICEF Supply Division. PAHO Revolving Fund procures vaccines on behalf of 41 countries in the Americas, and they engage with multiple manufacturers, and also generally this is a annual procurement. From the country's perspective, they can reach some of those interior provinces of countries in Latin America like Peru or Panama and offer affordable prices to these countries. From the point of manufacturers or exporters, this offers decent volumes, but the procurement is on an annual basis, and therefore there is uncertainty after the first year, after the annual tender is done, in terms of volumes or in terms of pricing. Therefore, most of the manufacturers look at UNICEF Supply Division as a major opportunity for supplying vaccines. UNICEF procures vaccines for more than 100 plus countries, gentlemen. And they also engage with several manufacturers, and they, unlike PAHO, offer multi-year contracts, long-term contracts, and therefore for manufacturers this is a lucrative opportunity in huge volumes, and advance commitment for multiple years is available. And in terms of country perspective, if you look at, UNICEF could reach vaccines to those remote countries and offer, depending on the transition agreement that exists, they could either offer vaccine free of cost or at a subsidized price. I don't go in depth into this transition agreements, which is, of course, there are, it's not in the scope of the talk here perhaps. For me, I feel UNICEF is a great opportunity available for vaccine suppliers for mankind. If somebody asked me a question, what is innovation in global health, I would say that UNICEF, which masks some of those donor agencies like Gavi, is a great innovation in global health. This is because UNICEF could save millions of children, or every year could add millions of children who could be completely immunized. Just to share this graph here, this is a borrowed graph. In 2001, about 20 million children were immunized. And in 2012, 370 million additional children could be immunized, thanks to Gavi supported and UNICEF Supply Division. And this is not all. Every additional year, 55 plus million children are being immunized. And this is the power of UNICEF. And this is a lucrative operation in terms of commercial side, if you see, for the vaccine manufacturer. Also, UNICEF engages with manufacturers and looks at bringing down the price significantly. I would like to share a very interesting phenomenon here. I said I'm talking of the mindset of manufacturers. This is what I would like to share. In 2009, rotavirus vaccine was offered to UNICEF at $7.5. Two manufacturers were available there. 2012, rotavirus vaccine dropped its price. The rotavirus price, vaccine prices were dropped to $2.5. Again, only two vaccine manufacturers were available, gentlemen. This is also innovation for the public, but from the manufacturers or sellers' point of view, a lot of people will raise questions here. Is it undercutting, or why should this price be reduced? I'm not stopping here. In 2015, the rotavirus vaccine prices were dropped to $1 by an indigenously produced vaccine in India. Well, we have offered this vaccine to UNICEF once pre-qualified at this price. Yes, there are preconditions, obviously, I think. But we are already supplying this vaccine to Government of India. Many states, more than 20 million doses have been already distributed, gentlemen. Now the question comes in, is this business lucrative? This is a question people ask. If somebody asked me this question, I would say yes. Will this allow new entrants to come into this business? I don't know the answer. Why I said yes is because of this. The global impact of rotavirus vaccine, gentlemen. If rotavirus vaccine can be administered to every child, almost 1,200 infant lives could be saved per day globally, and 270 lives could be saved in India alone. I guess we do not work just for minting dollars. That is where the mindset I was talking about. I guess as vaccine manufacturers, we are slowly transitioning into a change in mindset. We need to work as social marketeers. I think we need to look at opportunities of disease prevention, and that is where the profitability is. Social marketing for profits. I guess this is the term we should use as vaccine manufacturers, and this is what I personally believe. Again, this is a personal thought I'm talking of. Yes, commercially, I don't think many people are going to discuss. But this being the case, I would like to share on the challenges that as manufacturers we face. I think there are other areas where we need to work collaboratively and we need to work with global agencies to bring down the cost. The major cost that cripples manufacturer is the cold chain cost. Many people perhaps would not have thought of. Typically, a vaccine goes through this path. From the warehouse of the manufacturer, I think many of our colleagues here who have been with vaccines will understand this. From the manufacturer to the child it goes through this path. I'd just like to give an example of a shipment, say from India, moving to a country like Peru. It might have a transshipment in Asia, at least one. It will have a transshipment in Europe. It will definitely have a transshipment in Miami in US. 3 transshipment, there are going to be temperature excursions during this, and therefore manufacturers are forced to make sure that these temperature excursions are within the limits which should not affect the quality of the vaccine when it reaches the end customer. Now the issue is that the manufacturers have to put a data logger to monitor this continuous temperature across the path. Manufacturers definitely have to put viral vaccine monitored, because that is where the quality of the vaccine is assessed, the last mile. Depending on the vaccines, you may have to have a cold chain monitor, you may have to have a freeze tag. And if it is a frozen vaccine and a dry ice shipment, somewhere in Miami you have to replenish dry ice. This is going to be expensive affair. I have not made calculation here. Definitely I know that the cost of cold chain is increasing. I guess this is a serious issue. This is what we need to think of. Perhaps vaccine manufacturers can bring down the price of vaccine, and bringing down the price of vaccine is very important because the volume increases, more children could be saved. But this is an unnecessary expense that we feel, and definitely we need to think of smart strategies. I don't have the answer at this moment, but we need to think of smart strategies. Maybe we need to collaboratively work, the vaccine manufacturers along with the global agencies like Gavi or the Gates Foundation or the WHO, and maybe the even local NRAs. A simple thought comes, maybe we should use a multi-usable temperature monitor, but millions of monitors has to come back to the manufacturer. I guess there will be total chaos. I have been part of what is called the vaccine global packaging working group of WHO. We've been suggesting of a possible alternative, transitioning from shipper transportation to a pallet shipper transportation. When we talk of pallet shipper, just for an example, we may have 10 pallets or 10 shippers in a pallet. Therefore, we are going to save on 9 cold chain monitors. Data loggers. We may save on 9 cold chain monitors. We may save on 9 freeze tags. And this is what is just a thought, but we do not know how this is doable, because it is just not the manufacturers who are involved in this. We need to have other stakeholders as well. Perhaps we need to discuss with the airport authorities. We are not sure how many airports could really handle a pallet shipper. How many airlines in some of those small odd sectors would carry a pallet. These are factors. These are the major challenges that are there. I guess we need to address this, but then again, going back to conclude in my talk, I would like to say that Vaccine manufacture. I'm sorry, I don't know. I didn't do anything. Okay, I'm concluding. Just 2 slides. I'm concluding here. Yeah, vaccine manufacturers should work as with a social marketing mindset. When I say social marketing mindset, we look for opportunities in prevention of disease. That opportunity should be of greater priority. This is what I would say. So we should think like social marketeers. Thank you very much, gentlemen.